is that you find that, your organizational mission, vision, you are very much in synchrony with it as a leader. But now, being able to get your followers, being able to get other young people to buy that vision and to commit to it, we usually find it very, very difficult, where, we have our careers, we have our families, we have this, we have that. There's quite a lot that is going on in one's personal life, but you want to be able to influence people that, they can make time, even in their busy schedule, to be able to also, buy into the vision that you are doing as a leader. I'm not sure if there's anybody else who have commented. Okay, there's one. If there's no one, then I'm gonna go forward and go into, what makes a good leader, what makes an effective leader. Number one, leaders are decisive. As a leader, you are the one who is taking decisions for the organization. You're the one who is taking decisions for the people that you are under your leadership. And these decisions can be good, these decisions can be bad, but in actual fact, the deciding factor, or what still stands, is that you as a leader, is upon you to make sure that, you make decisions for the organization. And good leaders make good decisions and right decisions at the right time, in the right place, at the very right moment, in response to the challenges that are being faced. As a leader, you cannot afford, where there's a challenge and you are unable to decide where the direction in which you want the organization to go to. For example, as PLO Foundation leaders, right now there's so much that is going on in our lives as young people, and it is time now that we as leaders, we decide, what we need to do going forward. You decide on the activities that has to go on. You decide on the vision, on the mission. You decide on, other factors that are coming in that you need to make sure that you incorporate them in the chapters and all that. You're the one who is deciding that. But you don't decide alone as a leader. Good leaders or effective leaders, they consult the ones that are in that they work with. You consult with your stakeholders, you consult with your other leaders, to make sure that indeed the decision that you have, in mind, is in synchrony with what everybody else wants. But most importantly, not only what everybody wants, but you want to be able to decide in favor of what is going to be good for the organization. Great. So, moving on, there is Etop said a leader must be able to interpret the organizational vision and goal effectively. Definitely, Etop, a good leader, it's your duty as a leader to be able to interpret, the vision and mission of the company and of the organization, and to be able not only interpret it for your own understanding, but you have to also be able to make sure that the vision and mission of the organization, is well understood by the people, who matters the most, the people who you want to attract the attention, the people who you want to see impact in their lives. So it's definitely correct. You have to actually make sure that you interpret the vision and the mission of the organization, so that people can have a buy-in, so that you can have, ownership of the organization. Great. So that is where now, it's also very important that now, if people understand what the organization is about, then they can be able, to contribute towards the decision making of the organization, and ultimately making everybody happy, but most importantly, seeing the organization moving forward where it's intended to go. Falu said, leadership is about giving a positive influence positive influence to people and being able to face responsibilities without a shadow of doubt. A leader should be creative and inspirational to others. Definitely, a leader has to be inspirational to those, you know, that they are leading. And basically, as you know, I'll keep on referring to the definition that I gave you when I started, that a good leader is the one that is able, you know, to have people aspiring to their inspiration. I have to be in a position, you know, for people to be able to want, you know, to do what it is that inspires me. They have to be able to want to contribute to what inspires me, where I want to go as a leader. So definitely there. And then I'll just be picking randomly. Karim, yeah, PK says effective, also ability to think out of the box, to have good vision, and to come up with effective strategies that will advance the vision of the organization. Definitely. If anybody else who wants to comment on that, you know, you can go ahead. But now I would like to move on to the next one. All right, I would like to move on to the next one. A good leader, you know, they have to be able to practice. They have, you know, they have to have the qualities of, they have to practice what they preach. Okay, a good leader should practice what they preach. I don't know, have you ever been led by someone who, you know, they'll be telling you something else, that, you know, they'll be telling you what to do, but in actual fact, they do something else. They will tell you to, number one, maybe make contributions towards a certain cause, and they themselves, they don't do that. Or they will ask you to go and make plans, you know, and to come up with goals and come up with activities, and they themselves, they don't make initiative to come up with those initiatives. No, that's not the way to do it. A good leader is the one that is supposed, you know, that is able to follow by example. When you tell people to do something, you as a leader, you have to be able, you know, to also, you have to be able to do as you say, to walk in your words. You have to be able to walk in your words. These are some of the traits that, you know, we see people literally, you know, giving up on leadership, because I mean, it's absolute betrayal. When you tell me to do something, you're my leader, and you are not able to do it yourself, you know, it's absolute betrayal. So that's why you see many people actually lose trust on their leaders, because they are unable to do what they say people should do. So definitely. So so definitely. So I'm going to go to Francis again. Is he saying leadership is the capacity to influence, inspire, rally, direct, encourage, motivate, induce, move, mobilize, and activate others to pursue a common goal. So definitely, I mean, it's just one of the definitions effective leaders. So yes, that was number two. I said you have to be able to practice what you say. You have to make sure that you, by example, people should be in a position to trust you, to know that the things that you say they should do, they have to be able to know that those are the things that their leader can also do, and is able to do it, and is doing. All right, if you don't take initiative as a leader, your group will not be able to take initiative. If you as a leader would always want for somebody else to come and tell you, do this, do that, that's exactly the caliber of followers that you will have. The ones who will wait for you to say, do this, do that. And you do not want that. You want people to be able to initiate. You want people to be able to come up with initiatives and to basically. You don't want the yes says, yes ma'ams. That is very good, but you want people to be able, even when you're not doing something, they have to be able to actually initiate and carry out an activity. Cool. So the other one is that leaders, or effective leaders, lose sight of the goal. Effective leaders don't lose sight of the goal. Effective leaders, they stay focused on what needs to be achieved. Effective leaders, they look at the organization analytically and look at what needs to be done and come up with programs and initiatives and make decisions that are definitely in line with, attaining those goals. So have your goal, as a basis for everything else. As a leader, you have to be able to have the objectives and the mission and the vision of the organization as the drivers of where the organization is going, and they have to be able to be influenced. They have to be able to influence every decision that is being taken, be able to influence every decision that is being taken. Great. Okay, cool. So I'll go to the chat room and see if there's any comment there. Barry is saying, what can I what can advise you not to be selfish leader as current leaders are today? Okay, I will come back to that one. Yes, and someone said, Etop said that a good leader must know that at some point he or she is also a follower. Etop, there you're talking about servant leadership, and servant leadership is one of those different types of leaders that I had mentioned at the beginning of the and basically saying that servant leadership, they are driven by by the core. At the core, it's serving, that driven by wanting to see impact, by wanting to make impact. And that is a servant leader, somebody who is also a follower themselves. And definitely it's very important. There's a very important character trait, especially when you want to be who does what they say. All right, so definitely. And then leaders have passion for what they do. And I would like to give you an example about myself. When I started with youth leadership, I basically had a passion to see Africa in a better place. I wanted to live in a better Africa, and I had a mission. I mean, I had aspirations of the Africa that I wanted to see. The one that was, war-free, the one that was peaceful, the one that the people benefited from, from the fruits of the land. And